Ever wonder why you sabotage your own goals, even when you want them more than anything? It all starts the moment your alarm goes off. You swear you'll change. You promise yourself, tomorrow, I'll be different. But as soon as that alarm blares, your finger slams the snooze button, again. Why do you keep repeating the same cycle, even when you know better? You tell yourself you're finally going to start that important project, but an hour later, you're still scrolling on your phone. You know exactly what you should do, but you consistently do the opposite. And every single time, the blame lands squarely on you. I'm just lazy, or I have no willpower. But what if that's not the real story? You're not lazy. The problem isn't a character flaw, it's that your brain's ancient survival programming sees your best decisions as a threat. In this video, we're going to look at the neuroscience to reveal why your own brain can feel like your biggest enemy and what you can do to finally win the fight. That feeling of being stuck, of watching yourself make the wrong choice even when you know better, is one of the most frustrating human experiences. It feels like a personal failure. But let's get one thing straight right off the bat. Self-sabotage is not a moral failing, it's a biological function. Your brain isn't designed to make you happy, it's designed to keep you alive. And the world it was designed for was full of immediate life-or-death threats, not project deadlines, new diets, and career ambitions. For hundreds of thousands of years, our ancestors survived because their brains had an incredibly effective security system. This system's main job was simple: avoid threats, save energy, and stick to what's familiar. Anything new or uncertain was flagged as a potential danger. The problem is, that ancient operating system is still running the show today, in a world it no longer recognizes. So when you decide to start a business, speak on stage, or even just introduce yourself to someone new, your brain doesn't see an opportunity for growth. It sees a threat. It sees the unknown, the risk of failure, the potential for social rejection. Its response is to yank the emergency brake, flooding you with doubt, anxiety, and an overwhelming urge to retreat to the safety of your couch. It's a mismatch between your modern goals and your ancient machinery. Understanding this is the first step to taking back control. It shifts the question from, "What's wrong with me?" to, "What's happening in my brain?" Think of it as a battle in your brain, the wise CEO versus the jumpy bodyguard. The bodyguard, your amygdala, is your primal watchtower, constantly scanning for danger. When it spots a threat, it triggers an amygdala hijack, taking your rational CEO offline. This is why you can't think straight when you're stressed or anxious. So, what does this ancient battle look like in your modern life? It usually shows up in a few classic forms of self-sabotage. First, there's procrastination. You have a big project due. Your CEO knows you should start, but the thought of the project, the effort, the potential for failure, the judgment of others, triggers your bodyguard. It screams, threat, discomfort. To save you, it makes scrolling social media or watching another episode of that show feel like a wonderfully safe alternative. You aren't being lazy, your brain is actively pulling you away from the discomfort of the task. Then, there's perfectionism. This is often just a fear of failure in a fancy disguise. You tell yourself, I can't launch my website until it's perfect, or I can't apply for that job until my resume is flawless. What's really happening? Your amygdala is terrified of the judgment that might come with putting something imperfect into the world. By setting an impossibly high bar, you create a built-in excuse to never finish, thereby protecting yourself from criticism. Finally, there's imposter syndrome and the fear of success. You get that promotion or finally achieve a big goal. Your CEO should be celebrating, but your amygdala panics. Success brings new responsibilities, higher expectations, and more visibility. It's new, it's unknown, and therefore it's dangerous. That nagging feeling of I don't belong here or I'm going to be exposed is your brain's survival instinct trying to drag you back to the familiar, safer position you held before. Recognizing these patterns is the most powerful part of this whole process. If any of this sounds familiar, just take a second to think about which one shows up most in your life. Is it procrastination? Perfectionism? Acknowledging it without beating yourself up is the first real step toward changing it. You can retrain your brain. Thanks to neuroplasticity, the goal is to work it, not against it. Here are 3 strategies. First, signal safety with your breath. Slow, deep breathing calms your brain's threat detector, telling it you're safe. Second, challenge the story. When you catch a negative thought, ask if it's 100% true, then reframe it to be more empowering. Third, create new evidence with small wins. Your brain believes what you do, so start ridiculously small to build new habits that fly under the radar. For years, you've probably blamed yourself for a lack of willpower or discipline. But the truth is, You've been in an unfair fight against a survival mechanism that has been wired into our brains over millennia. Self-sabotage isn't a personal failing. It's a biological misinterpretation. It's your brain trying to protect you from threats that, in the modern world, aren't really there. But now you know how it works. By learning to recognize when your inner bodyguard is overreacting, you can pause. By using your breath, you can signal safety. By challenging your internal stories and taking tiny, consistent steps, you can slowly but surely rewire your mind. You can teach your ancient brain that the things you want most, growth, connection, and success, are not threats to be feared, but opportunities to be embraced. You are not broken. You are not lazy. You are simply human, equipped with an ancient brain that's doing its best in a strange new world. Now you have the instruction manual, so the next time you feel that pull toward self-sabotage, don't fight it. Acknowledge it, thank your brain for trying to keep you safe, and then gently, deliberately, choose to take one small step forward.